Hello and welcome to the Heather Powell Show. I'm David Holt, and this is the infamous Heather Mays Powell. Infamous. Did you get that?
Infamous. That was nice.
Back in the day, she was a really good ball player.
Don't say back in the day. I just had a birthday, so I can say even worse.
Are you 40?
Ish.
Ish? You're over 40?
I'm 41. I am.
Oh my gosh. And the world kept revolving when you hit 40?
Nothing even happened. There was no day of doom, blackness. It did not creep in. Nobody got any black balloons, so good job, guys.
You didn't tell him it was your birthday, did you?
I did not.
Oh. You know, women are funny like that. Sorry. Just wait till the big 5-0 comes along.
I'm okay with most things. I tell you, it's really funny, and I go back to this when I talk to in my family and stuff. It doesn't bother me that badly, the 40, the 30, but when I hit 25, there was something about being a quarter of a century. When I could reference it to a century, it just felt old. I don't know why.
Well, thank you. I'm the double nickel 55, so I'm half a century.
I don't know about you. I'm more talking from you. Wear your black shirt next. I'm just kidding.
Well, you can tell Heather and I have a good time. I'm always harassing her when she comes out. I tried last year and even have her on videotape promising she'd wear a suit. We didn't get that. So her word, I don't know. Well, it was on video evidence.
It's coming. I told you, I tried. I did go shopping for the suit. But
listen, I tell
there's
you,
big girl sizes here.
if you give me the credit card, I'll go find
Well,
it.
you have to talk to Luke. If he'll give me the credit card, I'm going to go find some stuff too.
I don't know. So now we talk about the hair. Is it ponytail? Is it part all down? Let's wear it up. I don't know.
Is it the half do?
Yeah.
Have a little highlights, a little lowlights.
Or
Mixing it up. I'm
gray
mixing
lights?
it up a little. Well, no, that's what we're trying to cover up.
Oh,
We
okay.
got the gray lights.
Maybe I need to.
The beautician's been out of town.
If you can't have fun, why have? You might as well have
That's
fun.
true.
Life's too
Yeah,
short.
you gotta go. Have some joy, have some laughter, and go on with it.
And we're in the mix of playing basketball, which I know you tuned in to watch, and we've had some great games since we were last on the show. We played North Sand Mountain, and some of the girls just did outstanding. It was a very close game. Was it overtime?
It was an overtime game.
Overtime game, and Plainview won by 2. Am I right? Or 1?
One, actually.
One.
Yes.
Listen, I slept since then. I'm sorry.
Well, we've had so many at 1 point, 2 points. It's just been, we've had a season of thrills, I guess, and almost heart attacks, depending on which side you're on there, I guess. But we've had some great finishes. We'll talk about the Pisgah game a little bit later, where not exactly how we wanted to finish, but again, just a hard-fought game. Our girls, in overtime of the North Sand game, you can realize that probably they are exhausted, but they just kept pushing. Just super proud of them. And again, a very high-intensity game from the tip to the finish against Pisgah.
Well, let's talk about North Sand Mountain, because you had some girls that did some amazing things. And now you talk about triple doubles and double doubles, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But it's positive things, am I right?
They are. They're positive statistics where they score or they mount up double figures. So we did have
You must have some really good statisticians.
We do. They have been a fixture at Plainview for way longer than I have, and they just continue to hang in there with us. I think they were actually maybe the good citizens and of the year.
The Chamber of Commerce
That's
People
right.
of the
People
Year.
of the Year, yes. And no two could deserve it more. Mr. and Miss Ayers are absolutely amazing. Travel all over, get their satchels and their notepads and come out with us. And, that's just such a big help in the middle of the game to be able to have him come over or look up and say, hey, how many turnovers, how many offensive rebounds do they have right now? Or, something like that where you're not having to exhaust maybe another assistant or someone else on the bench to try to cover those things. And you have that reliable source of information just readily available.
I like when they sit right behind me because they're always encouraging. Come on, girls, come on. Miss Ayers, Mr. Ayers, they're positive.
Just absolutely true fans and truly dedicated to the school, the community, the city. I mean, they are phenomenal, and you just don't find many like that or any better for sure.
There's not a lot of people that are committed through the long haul and they're always there.
That's
So
right.
those are the kind of people you appreciate having
Yes.
on your side. So
Oh.
Bill and Judy Ayers,
Big thank you.
big congratulations to you guys. Well, we're talking about the North Sand Mountain game. It did go into overtime, and the Plainview did win by 1. And so let's talk about some of the girls from the stat sheet that she understands more than I. Let's talk about Olivia, because that's the one that had a triple-double.
She did. She had a triple-double, and we got tickled the next day at practice. We started talking, and one of the first things the girl said, and this is the exact thing that I said right after the game, we walked in, and Coach T was counting the stats off of Mr. Ayers' sheet, and he said, Coach, come over here and count this, you know, and I said, okay, because we're just taking a deep breath because it's been a last-second shot. We hit a foul shot at the end to go ahead, and they miss a buzzer beater, and we're just all like, let's breathe a minute, and then we'll go in and talk to everybody, you know, one of those things. But so we were, and he said, count this up, and I said, well, it's 10, and he said, look at these other stats, and I said, she had a triple-double. I said, you are kidding me. Because Kat Thompson, just that day, asked Olivia during the shoot-around, they were shooting foul shots or something, and she said, hey, have you ever had a double-double or whatever? And she said, what about a triple-double? Like, those are really hard, right? Liv said, well, yeah. She said, I've not ever had very many. She said, I think I had 1 or 2 at Westbrook, and maybe I might have had 1 last year, you know. And that was the day that we played.
Wow.
And I thought, how ironic.
Yeah.
And I told Kat, I said, hey, you need to be saying that every time we play, every game day, you ask her about a triple-double again, you know, so maybe she'll repeat the process. But anyway, she did come in that night. She had a great night for us, 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. So not only 31 points, but an assist means that the other person scored when you gave them the ball.
Yeah.
So that contributes at least another 20 points. Maybe if some of those are threes, then it's more than that. So you look at that stat, you say, whoa, you know, that's a lot of points contributed there. So she really did have a stellar night and had to. I mean, to push us over, you know, she does have the ball a lot in her hands and that kind of thing. We do rely on her to rebound well. She's one of our top rebounders. And, you know, when you look at her and go, well, that's the point guard, you know, a lot of times that's the girl that when we shoot the ball, you know, she's getting back for defense. And that is not her role. We throw her in there and say, get up among those trees in there and
She
and
manages to maneuver in there somehow.
She does. She is good.
I call her a scrappy player.
Yes.
Is that a good term, a scrappy player?
Definitely. You know, she's got the skill to go along with it as well, but just so scrappy, so physical for, you know, a girl that's going to be a libero type kid, volleyball in college, you know, something like that. Plays excellent defense. She's a small girl, but very aggressive and jumps very well also. So it helps her to do that. And we look for her to distribute the ball. And she did based on the 10 assists. And she had a turnover to assist ratio that was great. She had 3 turnovers, 10 assists. So you can't, that's what you want when you say, hey guys, if I can drop some numbers for you, you know, those would be the numbers that you want. So she had a tremendous night. And then Kat Thompson also had a double-double that night. She was our lead rebounder last year. She is a little bit taller. I think her ability to rebound comes a lot from just having a great nose for the ball. You know, when it goes up, she understands the angle of that and does a great job.
It's called geometry.
It is geometry, and she's smart. So maybe I guess that's what it is. She's a very good student too. So she had a great night for us. And had about 6 steals as well. So she had some high categories besides just the one she cut the doubles in. So we had a lot of, I would have mentioned too, and it's not, some of it you don't see on the stat sheet as much, but we had Macy Lance playing exceptionally well for us. I think handling the ball, really kicking out to the shooters, getting the ball in the post, kicking opposite, those type of things, being very steady for us. I was super proud of the way she played. And then also, Morgan Ritchie came in and she had some medical things going on the week before and had actually not played the game on Tuesday and had to sit until we practiced then the next time to get ready for the game. And at one point I realized that we had her out on the court for a really long time, thinking that we were just going to put her kind of in and out because her stamina would not be quite as good. And I thought, well, her face looks red. I thought, whoa. she's been out there all, I said, oh, do we need to get her a break? I turned around, one of those realizations. I said, I don't think we can, coach, and just really proud of the way that she showed up that night.
Yeah.
I thought that she was really good for us, boxing out and with her defense and stuff like that, and also stable on offense for us.
Well, I'm going to go back to Olivia just a minute before we go further. She is the youngest of 5, right?
She is.
So I imagine the scrappiness must come from playing against her siblings, you reckon?
I'm going to say that's part of it, for sure. I mean, she has two other sisters in the family, and both of them play basketball, volleyball, the whole thing too, like she does. And, I imagine the competitions, I don't say they don't break out of basketball at Christmas because somebody might get hurt, because they were both very good players. Natalie was so quick. She's a great defensive volleyball player as well. And then Anna she always thought the game so well. She could jump well. She was a great post for us. But she also was a court leader. So she knew she could kind of direct people on the court.
Which is really what Olivia does bringing the ball. She's calling out the plays and telling them who to go where.
Exactly.
And bringing it down, trying to not get it taken away.
Right. All at the same time, trying to tell everybody what we're running, and that kind of thing. So it's a great family.
That's
great
good
family.
when they look over because you're usually telling them what you want. And
I
she
try.
listens.
She does listen. She does. It's, with the atmosphere from Friday night, it's a little bit harder, so we try to do hand signal kind of stuff so that everybody can just see it.
Maybe you need to do like some of those football teams and have signs. Hold
flash
the
the cards
Flash
up.
cards.
It's like, Alf and a watermelon, and you go, okay,
What does that
here
mean?
it is. Kind of one of those. I don't know.
We'll put one of your assistants on that.
We might. That might be Coach Coots. He may need that job, you think?
That'd be hilarious. We could start a new
I
team.
may use your head if we do that.
No.
What would that mean?
Turnover.
X out. No.
But before we get into the game you guys played Friday night, let's talk about rankings. Because when you went up to play Pisgah, you were undefeated.
We were.
5-0.
Yes.
However, when you look at the state rankings, Pisgah was ranked number 2.
Yes.
Right behind
Lauderdale County was number 1.
And Plainview was ranked number 4.
We were.
So that was if you've ever been to Pisgah to play basketball, you know it's intense.
It is intense, definitely.
They
and it was
appreciate their basketball,
they
and
do.
they've had good programs up there.
Definitely. Year in, year out, they're going to have a substantial program. It's going to be one of those top programs, somebody to beat, somebody to look for, as far as, going to the postseason, things like that. They've proven themselves to be that, in softball as well. They have some of the same athletes and some only one or the other, but still they put together a good squad every year. And when we got to Pisgah, we were starting to run out. I'd like to say too, a big thank you to our crowd.
Yeah.
Because it was max capacity in the gym at the very beginning of our game, and our student section was going crazy. We had Santa Claus in there that I'd especially like to thank. So thank you, Santa. You know who you are. And just to add to that environment, when people look around, I know when Kat moved here, she was all about, well, I came to see a county tournament. That Civic Center was packed. I want to play like that. Listen, I'm telling you, that game Friday
Was packed.
You wanted to be there.
Yeah.
If you're a player and you're a competitor, you want to be in that game. And we said it the day before. I said, I'm not gonna finally sleep tonight. I'm so fired up because I knew what a challenge and how intense it was going to be.
Yeah.
And that just goes back to those are my favorite games. Playing it as a player, you get up for those games. You've got a little extra. It's something in your step or a little extra, maybe a little extra butterfly even at the beginning. But, that pushes you to play super hard.
I think you said you even had a hard time getting the bus in the parking lot.
We did. It was so packed. I mean, we were kind of backing up, pulling up kind of a thing, trying to get through there. And that was, at the very beginning of the B-team game. So that shows you those fans came ready. I don't think the game disappointed, even though not the way we won.
Yeah.
I think that the fans got, they got a good game to watch anyway.
Well, and there's always a rematch a little late in the season. This is the first swing of area play, right?
Right.
Hey, I'm learning.
That's good. That was good. That was some good lingo right there. But, we did.
I'm like a big commentator. No, I can't do that.
I think it's coming.
I just
Maybe
want to
we
keep
do
it
that.
quiet. I'm like Pavlov and the dog. When the whistle blows, I'm salivating.
You know what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Flip. So the Pennsylvania game came down to what? 2 points.
2 points. It was a back and forth all night. I thought we had a pretty good start. We got in a little bit of foul trouble early. Probably hurt us a little bit more than it hurt them. They had a few fouls here and there, but we did have some of our starters get in foul trouble. Had to sit a little bit, so it kind of took. Kat Thompson was one of those. Maybe took us out of our rhythm just a little to start with. And again, back and forth, we'd have a lead or they would come out and get a lead, we'd catch back up, kind of one of those. By the half, it was a tie ball,
Wow.
So we go out and say, okay, well, that part's over, now we have to win a half.
Yeah.
And so we come back out and pretty much do our job. I thought we played under control. I thought Kat did a good job coming out, having some fouls and not
Playing smart.
Yeah, and playing smart, not hurting herself anymore. Because she had some fouls down the stretch, which we all did. And some of those hurt us a little bit more than others, I guess. Some of that kind of stuff. But I thought that we did a pretty good job coming back out of the half, refocused. Sometimes you have that huge intensity the first half. You go in, you sit again, and now what do you come out and do? Do you have a lull? Do you come back out and you're ready to jump on them again? And I thought we did. I thought that was a good response from our team in that situation. And we've had certain situations. At this point, I feel like we've had almost every situation,
And it's only 6 games
and it's
in.
6 games in,
Wow.
so it's kind of crazy. But I think, the experience there, that was great. Fourth quarter, it comes down to it. At one point, it was, and I've talked to several people and they said the same thing. It was Annie come down. She does, do your thing. Olivia go down, and she would come off a pick and score. We had, oh my goodness, several tremendous picks. People hitting our girls that needed the ball, stuff like that. Very unselfish play by our team. Maybe Annie comes in and hits it. Olivia goes down and hits a 3. She actually hit 6 threes that game.
Wow.
That was her high for the year as far as threes go. And then Annie would come back down, and here it would go again. And it was just like, it was watching those two teams just compete. And even going back and seeing some of the pictures, that have been posted or whatever, you can just see the facial expression, from those girls is so intense.
And it all came down to a last second shot
It
for
did.
us, and it could have gone. We
Could've
could have
gone
won
either
by one.
Sure.
We ended up
Either
losing.
side had a possibility of erupting at the end of the game.
And I believe you said when the shot went up and hit, it was just like everybody was frozen.
It was, almost went kind of silent for the moment. I know
Which
I don't
is a
think I
lot of
breathed.
people in that gym
It
to go
is
silent.
to just kind of go, or maybe I just zoned it all out. I don't know, but because I wasn't breathing. But it was one of those times where it comes down to the end. We actually had a lead with about a minute and a half or so to go. We end up we had a very bad inbound opposite side of the court on their side. We had a very bad inbound. They end up getting the ball. So it was a very costly turnover. We did not need that one. They ended up scoring off of that. Eventually, we come down. We call timeout with just a few seconds to go to draw up a play. We're going to run this play. Come down. Let's score. And then we're saying we don't want to foul. We're going to do this. No fouling on the 3-point shot. All those things that you're trying to go over because it is early in the season. We have had a lot of experience, but again, make sure we're in the mode that we need to be in. Make sure that we understand the situation and what's going on. And we did. We come down. We stop them. We come down, call that timeout, get our play set. We shoot the ball, maybe 5 seconds to go. The rebound comes off. We miss. The rebound comes off. Their girl gets it. We end up, and I'm sure we didn't mean to, we inadvertently foul at that point. Just trying to fight for the rebound a little bit. She goes to the ground, so they call the foul. They go down, I think, 2.7 seconds, 2.3, 2.7, something like that. And she just nails both of her foul shots,
Which is so important
It's
to
huge.
be good at those
It's
foul
huge.
shots. They come in to bite you or they help you.
Well, they help you, one of the two. And then he calls timeout, and we do get to set the play, so that's the last second thing that you're talking about there. And we set the play up, have a perfect inbounds pass. I was very happy with the way that we went out and we did execute that first part of the play. Didn't get the last screen set to knock the last girl off of Olivia coming down. So she's coming down the side and really being ridden pretty hard by the defense. And we talked about before, you can see the picture on Facebook. Olivia's sideways in the air. The ball has left her hands. And to be honest, I don't know how she got it off. And I think we're all kind of just looking up at the rim.
Trying to blow it in.
One of those one of the help it kind of. I didn't even think we had to help it. I mean, it looked like it was dead on, and it caught the offside lip of the rim and bounced off.
Mm.
And of course, the place erupts on the other side. Not the finish you want, but again, at 41, and after several years of coaching, one of those games that you go, oh, that is just. It's as good as me playing myself.
Yeah.
It was so intense that you felt like you were in the game yourself, and you're just blessed to be in a situation where your kids can perform at that level. And
with a team that's ranked number 2 in the state.
right, and nobody's played them within 30 before we played them the other night. So to be there, to be in that situation, would we love to, maybe have one or by 15 or something like that?
Well, that's
sure.
one of the things that I think people from our neck of the woods feel like we have 2 stellar teams
Right.
with Blaney and Pisgah, and usually one of them puts the other one out, and they never get to go further
Right.
when they both really ought to be in the Final Four because they're
Right.
such good teams.
Definitely, and we ended the season last year the same way. Both of us up high in the rankings, and you just don't get to go because it's just kind of the luck of the draw. That's the area you're in. That's the region you're in, and that's what happens. So, you look at it and go, "Geez," as reclassifications and all come out.
And they're still the same.
We are. We love it. We just stay right there, and they did too. So it's all good. But it's one of those things where you don't have to guess. You know your opponent.
Yeah.
At that point.
they're ready to play every time one step on the
and
court.
that's what, like you said, we're gonna meet them again regardless, at least one more time. You have a possibility of Sand Mountain tournament. You have a possibility of area. Then you have another possibility of region.
Yeah.
If you both make it that far, a lot of good teams between here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just want to focus on how many times you could play them, there again, we did it last year, 5 times.
Wow.
That's tough.
Well, and the atmosphere you were talking about, I think is good for your team. I mean, in my
definitely.
personal opinion, it makes you better.
It makes you
have that environment. You know what big games are, and you know how you can. You know how you can do it.
It's not going to be any louder if it's as loud at Jacksonville than it was at Pisgah on Friday night. It's not going to be any more intimidating as far as the amount of people there, because it was like I said, it was packed. It's one of those games where even other people are coming to see games like that, that play for other teams, because they're like, oh, this environment, like I want to play in that environment, kind of thing, So it's one of those where you just don't get that everywhere. But because our fans showed up and were awesome, and then they have diehard true fans as well, and because our two teams, got out there and put it on the court, and I thought we fought well. I thought we played with intensity, with tenacity. And I think we persevered to the end. We just came up a little bit short this time.
Well, you gotta, that is what it is. It's time to move on to the next one, which tomorrow night, as of filming, Sylvania is this week, Sacred Heart is Thursday.
And then we have section on
Saturday.
Saturday.
So a busy week of basketball. So let's talk about Sylvania for a minute. They're one of our area teams we're playing. This is our first part of that swing of area play.
Right.
So what do you think about your matchup with those girls up there, the Lady Rams?
Well, I think that year in, year out, they're coached well. Coach Curry does a good job with them. They're a contender. They're going to fight. They're going to scrap. I know that he has gotten some young kids that are really good, and he's gotten to a point where he's decided maybe to move some of those up to the varsity. That's what I'm hearing anyway. So, I think it's one of those where we go in, you don't know all the personnel, but you know that spirit, that big rivalry.
That environment is going to probably be very similar.
I think so. Being in the Civic Center, so a little bit bigger venue as far as that goes, but as far as the intensity between fans or among fans.
Because they're relatives, they're neighbors, they go to church together, and it's kind of like Auburn, Alabama. Whoa.
That's it. Maybe not so ugly, I don't know, but possibly. because it has been in the past. Another good game to come to, a good game to be a player in, as far as it goes, because we do know that that rivalry and that competitive nature of both teams, and it'll be flaring that night, and hopefully come out on the upper hand on that one. I know that they have played North Sand Mountain at North Sand Mountain, and they did a really good job with them. We're within just a few points of them, and we're in an overtime game.
Yeah.
And barely get out of there with North Sand. So I think we've got to have our A game. We got to come in and do our job.
Those are one of those teams you're going to play not only in the Sand Mountain tournament, but the county tournament as well, and region play. And so technically, you could play that team 5 times again.
Sure.
Just like the Pisgah team. So we encourage you to come out and support Plainview basketball. Lots of good things going on. I'm just curious, are you? The schedule's a little different this year. I mean, we're playing some teams further away. Is that something you're happy with? I know you and Coach Coker work well on that.
We do. Coach Coker's great. He does a great job with our schedule, and I'm super happy to leave it to him because I know.
It's yours.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I'll work on the practice schedule. You handle that stuff, and he does. He does a great job. I think it's just a little bit more diverse schedule where you're not, because you're going to play a lot of those teams again. County tournament, Sand Mountain tournament.
Yeah.
Even with a 5
and
or
it's
an
hard to beat
Iron
someone 5 times.
or something. Yeah, you don't want to play them again. Some teams didn't want to play us, maybe for the same reason. I'm not sure. But it ended up being this way. I think that diversity helps us to play people from different regions to see kind of a little bit of a different mix, a different philosophy.
Well, it is what it is at this point. We're not changing the schedule now, and we hope you'll come out and support Plainview Lady Basketball. And Coach Powell, we're so happy that you're here today. Wish you a lot of luck. Hopefully this time when we record, we'll be only still have 1 loss.
Well, I hope so. That's the
We
plan.
hope so. That
That's
is
the
the
plan.
plan. Thank you for watching the Heather Powell Show, and we hope you'll tune in next time. Until then, see ya.
Building your dream home is one of the great joys in life. At First Southern State Bank, we know construction and mortgage financing, putting today's low rates to work for you. As you and your family move closer to the completion of your new home, we know that your home is where memories are made and families grow stronger year after year. At First Southern State Bank in Rainsville, Scott Kirk stands ready to tailor the right construction loans to meet your needs, along with our staff of experienced loan professionals. Drop by to share your dreams with us today in Rainsville. First Southern State Bank in Rainsville, all the bank you'll ever need.
Hello folks, this is Andy White down here at Bobby Ledbetter's Twin City in Fort Payne, Alabama. I want to invite everybody to come out to our new location. We're at 1411 Glen Boulevard, right where you turn to go on Airport Road. We've got plenty of inventory for you to choose from. I got cars, trucks, vans, sport utility vehicles of any make and model. Come down here and visit us. Let us see what we can do for you. If you got some slow credit, I've got some banks that'll take care of that. We've got great financing, got a great selection of cars. Y'all come down here and see us.
Don't take the first deal that comes along when you can do better at BobbyLedbetter.com and Twin City Used Car Sales, located at 1411 Glen Boulevard in South Fort Payne.
Listen to some of Johnson's satisfied customers.
Everything exceeded our expectations. No one will ever work here other than Johnson. We give them an A+. The crew was awesome.
This is the 3rd company that installed a unit in my house and the 1st that did it right.
Don't you want to know what type of person is working at your home? All of our employees must pass a background check and are subject to random drug testing. We won't send anyone to your home that we wouldn't trust in ours.
Call Johnson Heating and Cooling today, Alabama's largest and most awarded TVA dealer.